Black enterprise and her power moves. I am here with Mr. Harlem Capital, John Henry.
Hey.
Super excited to be connecting. John,
Thank you.
say what's up to the peeps.
What's up, guys? Nice to formally meet.
Absolutely.
After having been connected for so long.
All these years on Facebook and watching you build out Harlem Capital. And of course, you've been covered a bunch of times in Black Enterprise because you're hustling for us, right? we claim our own.
That's right.
But we're here today at Agent 2021.
That's right.
And you're giving a lunch keynote.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about what you hope to impart, the wisdom that you hope to impart.
Yeah, well, so firstly, thank you for making the time and making me part of your situation. Also really pumped that Agent 2021 is made me part of the program.
Right.
Look, when I get invited to come and share, I just know that I'm not being invited to share anything other than my authentic experience anyway.
Right.
So I'm just gonna walk folks through a little bit of context and some background and then really dive into what I know is gonna be really hot this year, and that's personal brand.
Yes.
Personal brand, personal brand, personal brand.
Yes.
There are hundreds of agents out there that all work for a big corporate or work under a corporate, but they have their own individual brand. So how can people stand out in this kind of noisy environment? I think I've been fortunate so far to have a bit of that pop.
Yes.
And so I'm gonna be just carefully assessing and being reflective about what I feel it takes to stand out.
Okay. Now, a lot of folks who are watching know you very well, right? And there may be a few who have never heard of you. So can you tell us a little bit about
Sure.
John Henry, Harlem Capital?
Sure, yeah.
Who you be?
Yeah, who you be?
Who you be?
Yeah, in a nutshell, I'm an entrepreneur and founder and investor, and I've been starting companies for a little while now. Started one earlier on, I was 18, built it, flipped it, sold it, so I was fortunate to get a little win under my belt early. Yeah, and from then on, I've been incubating, I've been investing, I've been, doing some content, and so, yeah, so that leads us to today where I'm a partner at Harlem Capital, which is a fund that invests in women and minority founders.
Yes, we like that. Speaking our language. Did you hear that? Money, women, minorities. That's our language right there. Tribe. So talk to us about this little itty bitty real estate deal that you did in a very historic piece of real estate in Manhattan.
Right.
Tell us about that.
Well, so all my real estate is actually in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So yeah, I bought a 10-unit property and then I bought another 7-unit property. And for me, it's mostly about the way I grew up. It was in underserved communities, we didn't have that wealth mindset. And so the way to combat that is, the way to build generational wealth, which is my life's work, is to acquire assets, to mobilize other folks to earn more and acquire. So it's not enough to just earn and squander it. You have to earn, to save, to invest, share it, repeat. So that's what today is about.
And then from the personal branding side, when you speak with women, when you speak with people of color, where we are positioning and have been positioning for a few years, but there's a next step after once you get that positioning and you have a little bit of success. How do they then level up? How do we level up? What's the next step once you're positioned?
I think a really big shortcoming that I see is I see a lot of folks take the steps to build a personal brand but don't know how to extract value from it.
And that's my exact question.
They don't know how to extract value from it. And in today's environment, which is subject to change because there's an impending correction right now in the market, is my sense, and is a lot of people's sense. But in today's environment, as it exists January 17th, 2019, there is an abundance of brands that are plowing money into branded content. I've hosted several branded podcasts for Washington Post, for Samsung, for Gimlet Media, eBay, and now my show with Viceland. All good examples of there being corporates that are ready to engage individuals, to be hosts, to be public facing, and that by no means is wealth. But that, by every means, is a hell of a lot better than getting paid $500, for an Instagram post. This positions you for wins later.
And then how do you suggest that they get that entree? right? So what are your thoughts on how to make those connections so that they can then begin to level
Yeah,
up?
it's not about making the connections as much as it is about being top 5 in your field. I say this all the time.
Okay.
You got to be top 5, top 5, top 5.
Okay.
Like if I think of what you do and you're not top 5,
Okay.
like you're missing the mark.
Okay.
You're either in a category that's way too broad or you're not dominating your category well enough.
Oh, good.
So once you're top 5, and what do I mean by that? Like you're a writer.
Yeah.
If I think of writer, like, Black millennial, writers, you're in that bucket, which means that you're doing your job. And then so when these brands and companies think of opportunities, they're gonna think of you. You're gonna be on the short list. That's what I mean. Because there's hundreds of you guys, but you're on the short list.
Right.
And so for these influencers, whether it's fashion or, manufacturing, whatever it is, it could be obscure to big, you have to be top 5 in your lane.
Okay.
And I started first with Harlem entrepreneurs, my lane,
Right.
and then that's grown to kind of diverse millennial entrepreneur. And so the platform for you gets bigger, but you got to focus on dominating wherever you are.
Absolutely. So if there's, as we wrap up, one piece of advice that you want people to take away in addition to being top 5, what is it that maybe is your most asked question, or the question you wish people would ask that they haven't asked you yet, that they're not getting to the core of where you think they should be thinking?
I wish people would ask me way less about where to find investors or how to find investors. And I wish people would focus more on doing the work in the micro.
Okay.
It's a lot less sexy, but I think there is this notion that you need an exorbitant amount of capital to start, and I'm really proud that my first business was completely bootstrapped because I can look at them in their face and say I started with fucking nothing. Right? So you can bootstrap your way up, and then worry about capital a little bit later.
So you sound very much between the top 5 and that thought process. If you build it, they will come. If you shine, they will come. They will find you. Your light will be so bright. That sounds like a lot of what you're saying. Be good at what you do, and people will find you.
Yeah, well, it's
part
like
of it.
Build it, but then part of this conference too is it's about the this whole conference is about the other piece.
Yeah.
I'm focusing on the build it,
Yes.
and then this whole conference is, all right, how do you get people to come your way?
All the
So the
time.
balance of the two is the answer.
Exactly. I love it. I love it.
All
So
right.
John Henry, Harlem Capital, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being with us.
All right.
Great. Yay.